Just to let you know, James Yonley called and said that he may be late or may not. He's not feeling well.
No worries. I see that we have, it looks like Councillor Aldrich just joined. We also have Councillor Thomas, Councillor Prenslow, myself. So we have a quorum. We actually had a quorum right before even Councillor Aldrich showed up. But either way, we'll go ahead and get going with who we've got. So if you all please stand, I'm going to mute while we do the flag salute real quick. That way everyone doesn't have to hear the echoes going back and forth. So if you stand and recite the flag salute, and we'll start now.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation
under God,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty
liberty
and justice for all.
All right. I think we all got through that okay. The only reason I muted myself is sometimes the echo comes back on me and it kills my ears. I do appreciate those that are able to join in. I know that city staff, Councillor Aldrich and myself had a chance to discuss with Ashley a response letter to Mr. Sherwood based off of the previous discussion we had both at City Council on road closures, as well as a follow-up to a social media post that he did also basically strongly encouraging people to come out, join his parade, even though there's no city permission to do so. The draft copy of the letter was sent out to council this morning. Just want to run through and see if everyone had a chance to read it. Councillor Thomas, did you get a chance to look at that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, Councillor Prenslow, did you have a chance to look at it?
No, I did not. I've been at work all day and now at a different location. So I'll have to take a look at that.
Okay. If you want to take a look at it real quick, that would be fabulous. It's only about maybe half a page. Ashley did craft this message, and what it details is it provides an overview of why the city requires permission to have a parade, close streets, and the concerns also about having a parade without city approval or police closing the streets, et cetera, on December 9th because of the darkness, the risk, the bodily harm, et cetera, et cetera. So just to give you some background real quick, Councillor Prenslow, at the last meeting, Mr. Sherwood did come in, provided us an overview of what he plans to do, a few events for this upcoming Christmas season. Part of it was a Christmas parade. I believe it was on the 7th he was planning it, or the 9th, sorry. I brought up the question if he had a chance to coordinate that and get approval from city, in this case, Chief Rash. He mentioned he had informed the police department, but Chief Rash basically came back and said, no, he doesn't recall that conversation. If it was a long time ago. We don't have the resources to approve it. With that, Mr. Sherwood wasn't happy. He felt like the city wasn't supporting him, et cetera. We eventually ended the conversation. There wasn't much to be had, but a follow-on posting on social media, he did go off again about how he was going to still hold this parade, encouraging people to come join it, et cetera. The request was for Ashley to please craft a message, one that could be conveyed to Rocky about the seriousness of going forth with the parade, the risks that he could be entailing, the various ordinance he could be violating, et cetera. And we wanted to make sure that as a council, we all agreed upon the wording of the letter so we can send it as a city and not just have, say, Chief Rash send it or send it as part of the city. The request coming from Chief Rash is that the city send this, which means it would be coming from the city council, thus the meeting today. So with that, Councillor Aldrich, do you have any concerns or any additional thoughts on the letter?
No, I read it. I thought it was well written. The only thing I still ask is if there was any way we could at some point address how a citizen can go about making this happen. You know, like I had mentioned, I think to you and city staff about, is there some sort of price tag we can put on getting something like this done without causing issues within the city?
Yes, and by the way, Counselor Aldrich, for the rest of staff, just to be aware, as well as the other counselors, actually forwarded me an article that was very interesting about a city parade that was being conducted for the holidays down in Salem. A price tag that's associated with it not only covered the cost for the police department, public works to deal with cleanup or anything afterwards. It was quite a large fee. We're a small town, so I'm assuming ours wouldn't nearly be such a thing, but it was an interesting topic, I think, James, for us to probably bring in the next city council for a discussion. I think that was an interesting article to read.
Okay.
Moving down the line, Counselor Thomas, do you have any input, questions, or concerns about the letter?
I have no questions or concerns. I think the letter looks fine.
Okay. Counselor Prinsloo, I know you're still somewhat on the spot because I don't think you had a chance to read it all the way through yet. Have you had a chance to take a look at it?
I did. I've had a chance to take a look at.
Any concerns?
No concerns. Is there any way, or can you think of any reason why we wouldn't want to also include the proper way of obtaining a permit, just to reiterate that he is not following that, in addition to obviously encouraging people to participate in something the city hasn't sanctioned?
I think that would be easy enough to do. Vicky, could we extract out the process that we've asked him to go through and provide that as kind of a second part to the letter?
I guess for me, it's a little confusing to me because he's just asking about to have the parade is road closures. So I'm not sure what other part.
How we would ask someone to go through, and such as working with the police department. Do we have actually, is it a structured process that we have if someone wants to do a parade, et cetera, that they just follow to come down, meet with the police chief, meet with public works?
Mm-hmm. Well, what we've done with the Hop Festival is they submit an entire packet, and it includes a actual parade route and road closure requests. And then I think in the other road closures that they've submitted something similar to Chief, he can speak to that, and then he follows it up with a approval memo or letter.
Mayor, if I could, this is Ashley
Go ahead.
Driscoll,
Yes.
City Attorney's Office. So I'm not quite sure that what email or what material you're looking at from the city of Salem, but going through this process, I would recommend that the city of Hubbard update your code to have some sort of parade permit application process. That is, I would say, pretty typical among our clients to address exactly the issues you're talking about. You know, what is the process? Can you have, you know, a parade through city streets? What will the city provide? What's the criteria we're going to apply to your request, et cetera. So right now in the city code, you have a street closure, I believe, that the police chief can close the street, the city council can close streets, but you don't have a incredibly clear process for addressing this sort of situation. In this instance, Mr. Sherwood, you know, understands that most parades require a street closures. He knows what the process is, and you know, he has done that, and the city cannot accommodate his request. I do think it's clear. I do think Councilor Prinsloo makes a really good point that we should reference that in the letter. So more than happy to amend the process that we do have in the code, but I would also recommend that the city look at this in the future.
Okay. Councilor Prinsloo, would that be acceptable if we just have Ashley amend the current message to include probably a small section on current process we follow, and then bend the topic and bring it up in either the December or even the January council meeting where we can start updating or put in place a city procedural code for those that want to do a parade in the future, whether it's a high school team or whether it's an individual wanting to do a particular event.
And yes, I think that would be more than acceptable to include that update in the letter. And I think it would be a good response for the city council to consider changing the code for street closures and parades in the very near future.
Perfect. I agree with you completely, Councilor. Okay, so with that, we do not have Counselor Yonley on. As was mentioned, he might not be able to make tonight's meeting. Vicky or Director Nogel, from your standpoint, do we need a vote on this one or just consensus from council that this is the letter with a revised draft from Ashley that we can get sent out tomorrow then?
I think that you should do a vote on it.
Simple enough. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion.
Okay, I
I'm
heard
sorry.
Counselor Odrish made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it, Counselor Brinslow.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed, say nay. Okay. If it's acceptable to council, once we get the revised message, maybe Chief Rash, maybe you and I can schedule time to probably sit down and meet with Rocky, maybe hand deliver the message. I don't know if this is something we want to necessarily send out via snail mail. It take 2 or 3 days. Maybe we can arrange a time for us to sit down and have a discussion with Mr. Sherwood. I don't know if Ashley, if that is something that you would recommend against, or Chief Rash.
This Ashley, I think that's a great idea.
Chief Rash, does that work for you?
Yeah, when do you plan on doing it?
Let me see if I can find time with him. Probably Thursday morning. He seems to be off, I believe, on Thursdays.
Okay.
Thursdays or
It's-
Wednesdays. Let me see if I can. Thursday actually is Thanksgiving, isn't it?
I
That won't
don't-
work.
Mayor, I don't mind coming in on Thanksgiving.
Oh, I don't want to
Well-
ruin anyone's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
How about let me see if I can find time with him. Are you going to be in office tomorrow, Chief Rash?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there till like 2:00, I think.
Okay, let me see if I can find time with him tomorrow. And if worst case, Wednesday.
Okay. Just let me know on Wednesday because that's I'll be off that day.
No worries. I will
okay.
try to arrange time with you. I've got your number, so that should be easy enough. Although we do need to give Ashley time or an opportunity to just do another draft, and hopefully not this evening, Ashley. Hopefully that's something you can do in the morning.
Yeah, I get that off to you really quickly.
Thank you very much. Okay, with that, that order of business is taken care of. Do we have any other city business?
Mayor, this is Dave
Go ahead.
Rash. I sent you guys an email on 114. We haven't had any calls on it yet. There is the chief's organization and the sheriff's organization, and the state police is supposed to give us some direction tomorrow on where that's going. So I will try to have answers for you guys because I'm sure when December 8th looms around, there's going to be people calling us to get permits.
I'm assuming so. I do
So-
appreciate you, Chief Rash, staying up on top of that for sure.
Yeah, so we don't know where it's going to go yet, but I don't have any answers for you guys tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other city business? Okay, next agenda topic is adjournment.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Okay, meeting's adjourned. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.